Okay, so we look next into redox reduction and oxidation. Okay, so as you see in the picture above, okay, so this we have oxidation. Okay, when A, okay, lose electron, they are oxidized. Okay, and A is a reducing agent. When B gains electron, okay, you see here, okay, they are reduced and then they become the oxidizing agent. Okay, so why do we need to learn on redox reaction in cellular respiration? Because most of it, our ATP produced by the cells are via oxidative phosphorylation, meaning the transfer of electrons between the two reactants. Okay, when glucose that you consume is oxidized, okay, when glucose is oxidized, they become the reducing agent. When oxygen is reduced, okay, which is another reactant, it becomes the oxidizing agent. Okay, so you see here, okay, glucose molecule, okay, they lose electron, okay, they lose electron to oxygen, so they will transfer the electrons to oxygen. The glucose molecule becomes oxidized, okay, and it is a reducing, this is a reducing agent. And then oxygen gains electron from glucose, okay, and becomes reduced into water, okay, and this is, and then with together with energy. Okay, so this is the chemical reaction for glucose for cellular respiration. Although electrons or hydrogen are not transferred directly to oxygen, so this is a long process. This is just a simplified equation showing cellular respiration. Okay, so it's to, so I'm sure most of you had heard, okay, on oil rig, okay, oil rig, okay, and which is most of you learn oxidation is lose electron, okay, reduction is gain electron. Okay, most of you had, I think most of you had heard this uh, means of remembering oxidation and reduction. Okay, see here, glucose lose electrons, becomes oxidized, okay, into carbon dioxide, okay, oxygen be reduced into water, in which they gain electrons from the glucose molecules. Okay, so you've learned this on coenzyme in the last chapter. Okay, still remember, hopefully you have revised that chapter, okay, in which this we will involve the coenzyme which is NAD plus, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Okay, so what is this NAD plus? It is an electron acceptor. Okay, this coenzyme is a electron acceptor or electron carrier, meaning that it helps to transfer electrons from glucose molecule to the oxygen molecule. Okay, so they functions as a oxidizing agent. So as you can see, okay, in this diagram, okay, this is the structure of NAD plus, okay, in which it helps in transfer of electrons. Okay, so let's see how NAD plus are used, okay, in this redox reaction. So let's say we have an apple. Okay, so this apple is the source of glucose. Okay, the source of glucose. Okay, so this is the electron carrier NAD plus, which is a coenzyme. Okay, so the apple, okay, provides electrons and protons. Okay, so the enzyme dehydrogenase, okay, remove a pair of hydrogen atom, which is 2 electron and 2 proton from glucose. Okay, so the electrons and protons are removed from glucose, okay, and thereby oxidizing it, but only delivers 2 electrons and 1 proton to NAD plus, thus reduce NAD plus to NADH. So you see here, okay, two protons, okay, sorry, 2 proton, okay, 2 electrons and 2 protons from the food, transfer 2 electrons, 1 proton to NAD plus, okay, becomes NADH, okay, and the extra proton are then released to the surrounding solution. Okay, so this is the oxidized form, okay, NAD plus. This is the reduced form, NADH. So basically, NADH has 2 electrons, okay, which helps to carry it to another molecules. Okay, in this case, in the process of oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, so that is how electrons are removed from the glucose. Okay, basically they will remove all glucose from this sample to NAD plus. Okay, to provide energy for the from the cellular respiration. Okay, now we look into the stages of cellular respiration. Okay, they are divided into 3 stages, which is the first stage is called glycolysis. Okay, the name itself gives you a clue what it is. Glyco meaning sugar, lysis meaning split, sugar splitting, in which glucose, okay, are broken down, okay, into pyruvate, okay, and then followed by a link reaction, or they are called pyruvate oxidation. Okay, with pyruvate is oxidized into acetyl CoA. Okay, and this acetyl CoA will then enters the citric acid cycle to produce many NADH. As you still remember, in NADH we have electrons. We have electron here. Okay, and also FADH2. This also have electrons. Okay, so you have a lot of electrons here. Okay, next, after that, you will move into oxidative phosphorylation. This stage is where most of the ATPs are produced, okay, or called ATP synthesis. Okay, majority of your ATP comes from oxidative phosphorylation. Now, with the aid of a diagram, okay, so we will look into detail on the overview of cellular respiration. So this diagram helps you to fully understand or have an overview of what happens during cellular respiration. So the first starts in glycolysis, in which glucose, okay, is broken down into pyruvate. So this process occurs at the cytosols. Okay, so this produces ATP by the process of substrate level phosphorylation. Okay, and besides that, it also produces NADH. Okay, the transfer of electron by NADH. Okay, next, the pyruvate undergoes pyruvate oxidation, okay, where pyruvate is oxidized into acetyl-CoA, in which pyruvate will enter the mitochondria to undergo process pyruvate oxidation. So this acetyl-CoA will then enters the citric acid cycle, where they produce small level of ATP by substrate level phosphorylation, and a large number of NADH and FADH2. So basically, all the electrons from glucose has moved into this ADH and also into FADH and NADH. So electrons from glucose has traveled into this electron receptor or electron carrier. So these are then transferred into the matrix of the mitochondria, okay, to undergo oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, this is the oxidative phosphorylation, which involves the electron transport and chemi-osmosis. The ATP produced here, okay, is by oxidative phosphorylation. So as you can see the star here, the star at oxidative phosphorylation is larger, okay, larger compared to those at the substrate level phosphorylation. So this shows the comparison of ATP produced from substrate level phosphorylation to oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, so this is the overview. Okay, so hopefully with the aid of this diagram, you can have a understanding or have a insight of what you are expected to learn. Glycolysis, pyroxidation, citric acid cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation. Okay, so we've completed on the overview of cellular respiration, and we will continue in the next session. I hope you understand. If you did not understand, rewatch this video or you can consult your lecturer. Okay, thank you and see you in the next session. Thanks. Goodbye.